It's a big job to be the county attorney in Stearns County, Minnesota. It's a big county. And it gets even bigger when you realize Janelle Kendall is a wife and mother of 2 teenage boys. But there's a sense of purpose that goes with the occupation, a passion that infects you and keeps you on the task.
And there's something new every day. The good news and the bad news is that these cases come and go. I mean, certainly there are some that stick with you over time, but you get a chance to work with people at a time in their lives that is really very bad for them. And to be able to come in and try and make some good of that, and to try to get some closure and to try to have some accountability. And
this isn't just about working on the caseload. It's an elected position, which means you have to learn to campaign, live a public life, and be aware of all that goes with public office.
It's not for the faint of heart. And ironically enough, running for this particular office, by definition, you have to be a lawyer. And then you add the political aspects of that. So in some ways it makes the public speaking and the convincing people that you're the right person for the job, that's kind of inherently part of what we do as trial lawyers. But then when you get to the points of it that have nothing to do with politics, and you go into the pure lawyer reaction to sort of things, that can actually, I think, make the elected part of it more frustrating than it might be for other elected officials. But running for office is indescribable. I don't know that, looking back, I had any idea what I was getting into. But I knew that I wanted to be in charge of this particular office. My husband teaches at St. John's. We knew we wanted to be in this community. We wanted to raise our family here.
Her life gets balanced, or maybe a bit more out of sorts, when you note her other love. And it's an outlet for a musical family to perform and to bond.
We met singing in college at Hamlin as undergraduates. And so I needed an accompanist one day, and Janelle was the accompanist, so that I found. So we've been playing and singing ever since.
Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you blue?
With my husband being musical, we met singing in the a cappella choir at Hamlin. That's where we found each other. So with it coming out of both of us like that, we had kind of hoped the kids would be musical. And in fact, my older one laughs. When Andrew was born, and he's now 17, I can remember joking with my husband at the hospital, hey, maybe if he can sing, he could be in the St. John's Boys Choir, because we were right here in the middle of this community. And sure enough, both of them are musical. They both are alumni of the Boys Choir.
We are gathered here as a community, a parish.
On this day, they are at the St. John's the Baptist Church, an annual event.
And it is so good because what we want to do is we want to really include them in our regular monthly liturgies. So we're in discussion at this point that they be part of our music groups.
It's an opportunity, this love for music, to bring a family together in a team spirit way. And guess who makes it all happen?
She is. She's in the band. She's the alpha dog. And so we listen to her, and in fact, we had that discussion this past week of how should we do something? And all three of us said, well, Mom, how do you want to do it?
And we were on worship teams, and that's what they had seen. So it's all they've ever known. And really kind of a logical outcome from 2 musical parents that they would have some ability to, thank goodness.
It serves as a much-needed getaway from what can be all-consuming, dealing with cases that have been national, such as the Jacob Wetterling abduction, a high-profile case that is open occasionally from the media with headlines and sometimes leads.
It's a case. And that's part of even in coaching my office as we come into this, and if and when. We've had the national media come in 3 different times, and it's a little different experience when everything that you're doing is under a microscope. But if you know what you're doing and you're doing the right thing, it's really no different than any other case. What you end up in these big high-profile cases having the opportunity to do is help the public understand what the average case is. See, we do this in every case. You execute search warrants, you draft a complaint, you go to court.
It is the public awareness that keeps her and her staff motivated. The idea of the courtroom hearing, a constant reminder that one must be ready all the time. Do you love the preparation for a case in terms of, is that get your juices flowing, that time when you're preparing to get into a courtroom?
It's the detail orientation that feeds some people. Not everyone is wired for it. To have that amount of information that you hold in your head and then have to go in and react in real time to what happens in court.
The challenge of doing it right is ongoing and never ending. The responsibility of balancing it with a family is what you soon learn you've signed up for. Either they are all in or this life will not work.
I can't bag my groceries without someone commenting to me. In a community of 150,000, people know who I am. We're out there with the band, we're out there at church, we're out there at community events, we're out there, we're out there. So people know us, people comment to my kids about it. I mean, that's just it. It really, your whole family ends up getting involved in this at some level.
And maybe in her world there is a common thread, performing in music and performing in court. Do you love it when the lights come on?
Yeah, and that's where the music plays in, that's where the other things that I do in life is, sure. But it's so different when you're doing it in a musical context than when you're doing it in a courtroom. But the idea that everybody's watching you, it'd be tough to do it in a courtroom if you couldn't handle that part. And there are some people that can't.
If you had to do it over again, would you be an attorney or a musician, all things being equal?
Wow. No, I'd still do what I'm doing.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I do.
And you can see not just that it fulfills you, but it serves other people.
Exactly.
Life to the Max is brought to you by LifeTouch, photography for a lifetime.